Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So recently there was a big report that got released from the National Cryptocurrency Association, the same association that Ripple was a big player a part of. And we do have in the largest study ever of crypto in the US, the National Cryptocurrency Association found that 21% of Americans hold crypto. 76% of them said it has a positive impact on their lives. That's why organizations like the NCA are so important, spotlighting the practical everyday use cases possible through crypto. Now, also within this report, there's a few additional things that I would love to spotlight, which is number one in 5 of Americans now own cryptocurrency. 39% use crypto to pay for goods and services. 76% say crypto has a positive impact on their lives. Now, on top of that, we have the regional breakdown of crypto holders. Now, most of those holders are actually coming from the South at 39%. The Northeast is about 18%, the Midwest is about 17%, and the West is about 26%. But so far, I mean, listen, I understand why the South is, starting to see a big push on crypto. We know Florida was originally going to be, it was actually called the crypto Silicon Valley of the US at one point in time. And then Texas also started to see a big shift from, companies out in California moving to Texas. So it definitely is, it's understandable on why the South would have a big percentage of that. But I do expect I expect these numbers to grow significantly over the next, few months, even the next year, will probably look a lot different, especially with a lot of legislation and regulations, moving forward. But on top of that, we have the crypto holder next door, and this is who is using crypto. The average crypto owner defies categories and stereotypes. We also have the where crypto holders work, 14% technology, 12% construction, 7% finance, 7% manufacturing, and then 6% medical and healthcare. And we could see that the age gap is actually very interesting to me, because you would think that a lot of the holders would be very, young. But if we look at this, 55 plus makes up 15%. 45 to 54 is about 18%. 35 to 44 is about 29%. 18 to 24 is about 11%, and 25 to 34 is about 27%. That's actually kind of wild to me. I mean, still, most of the percentage here is from about 25 to 44 years old, but the fact that this is kind of defying the idea that, people that, are only young are holding crypto. No. We could actually see that it's different. It's completely different than what we thought before. But also look at the yearly income, the value of crypto holders as well, in terms of like the actual amount that they're holding. Very interesting. It's actually very interesting to see these numbers and to see this breakdown. I'm actually very excited to see more reports from the NCA. We also have using crypto in everyday life. 96% use crypto to shop for goods and services at least once per year. We also see how often do you use crypto to purchase goods and services, and we can see that full breakdown. I just think that's interesting to see that the usage of crypto is so much more significant than we thought prior to this report. I think that this is going to be a huge company to really kind of change the game around crypto, to really kind of show everyone, like, listen, you could see that people are using crypto in a huge way. You could see the percentage in which people want to actually increase their holdings, how much they're holding, the age. I just think that this is huge. And, I think that this is going to be a company that's around for a while, that's really going to make a big impact on crypto as well, and probably accelerate the push on crypto adoption and acceptance globally. Now, outside of that, I do want to talk about ROUSD, because we have been starting to see a lot of big shifts happening around ROUSD. Kraken recently just announced that it's available for trading. And also, we saw a big update from Ripple. And of course, Jack McDonald did quote this saying, as promised, ROUSD is now integrated into Ripple payments, our cross-border payment solution with near global coverage through 90 plus payout markets and instant connections to banks, financial institutions, payment service providers, exchanges, and many more around the world. Enterprise utility right out of the box. And we have over here, stablecoins should be trusted, compliance first, and built for real world finance. RLUSD is setting the standard. Now live in Ripple payments, RLUSD powers enterprise payments, asset tokenization, and DeFi. Nearing $250 million in market cap, 10 billion plus in trading volume, available on Kraken FX, LMAX, Bullish, Bitstamp, and more. Love to see it. And in terms of the actual report from Ripple, here we have Ripple integrates RLUSD into Ripple payments, driving enterprise demand and utility. Ripple, the leading provider of digital asset infrastructure for financial institutions, today announced that Ripple RLUSD has been integrated into Ripple's flagship payment solution, Ripple Payments, further driving enterprise utility and demand for the asset. And they do just kind of give us an update on what RLUSD actually is. And we have powering cross-border payments with RLUSD and Ripple Payments. Today, Ripple has enabled RLUSD cross-border payments in its flagship payment solution, which processes billions of dollars in volume. Unlike many stablecoins, which are designed for retail use, RLUSD has built-in global enterprise utility to improve the speed and efficiency of cross-border payments. Ripple is combining years of expertise in payments and extensive payout network with near global coverage and a high-quality stablecoin built with compliance at its core to provide fast, low-cost, and scalable cross-border payments. Today, RLUSD is being used in the payment flow with select customers, including cross-border payment providers BKK Forex and iSend, to improve their cross-border treasury operations. Over time, Ripple will also expand the use of RLUSD for our payments customers. And then, of course, we do have the $250 million market capitalization being spotlighted. Since launching in December of 2024, RLUSD has experienced strong global adoption with nearing, $250 million in market capitalization and $10 billion in trading since launch, demonstrating demand for the enterprise-grade compliance-first USD-backed stablecoin. They do talk about how they have expanded RLUSD coverage with players like LMAX Digital, Zero Hash, Bitstamp, and Bullish. We're seeing the market cap continue to grow, outpacing our internal projections. In short order, RLUSD is being used for a number of use cases, including use as collateral in both crypto and TradFi trading markets. New exchanges are listing RLUSD on an ongoing basis, and we're actively working with NGOs who see the opportunity to streamline giving through stablecoins. We're additionally excited to enable RLUSD and Ripple payments, extending the breadth of stablecoins available in our cross-border payment solution. And of course, we do have the use cases being spotlighted around, facilitating instant settlement of cross-border payments, access liquidity for remittances and treasury operations, seamlessly integrate with decentralized finance protocols, reliably bridge between traditional fiat currencies and crypto ecosystem, ensuring a seamless and efficient transition when entering, on-ramping, or exiting, off-ramping the crypto space. And then, of course, provide collateralization for trading tokenized real-world assets, such as commodities, securities, and treasuries on-chain. I love to see this. And you know what's crazy about this? Is that RLUSD has been growing so fast, it's becoming a much bigger piece of this entire space. And I do believe that it is going to be in the top 5, just like we've seen from Ripple employees, really kind of telling us. But on top of that, talking about Ripple employees, I do want to spotlight what we recently saw from Eric Van Miltenberg from Ripple. This is the SVP of Strategic Initiatives. Big shout to Subjective Views. There's about 3 clips tied to this. And I want to start off with this one, which is the speed at which large financial institutions are innovating and adopting Ripple's technology is steadily increasing. Check this out.
Nothing that I'll say is in any way contrary to what the panelists say, but at Ripple, we've kind of been on this journey of providing infrastructure, digital asset infrastructure for enterprises, for financial institutions for almost a decade now. I mean, our insertion point was with cross-border payments. We have hundreds of financial institution customers around the world. And it's been a journey, right? Initially, I remember being in meetings 4, 5, 6 years ago with a large bank where their team would be with the executive team, and their team would prep us and say, don't say Bitcoin, don't say digital asset, they'll kick you out. And to see the evolution has been dramatic. Initially, we really were providing infrastructure in the form of a messaging product, kind of a swift update or replacement. Since then, we work with our customers, we make sure we're compliant. I think that's obviously a critical part of the infrastructure that we need to keep very much top of mind. And we move at their pace. Sometimes that's very frustrating when you're dealing with large traditional financial institutions, but the speed at which they want to operate and iterate and innovate is increasing dramatically. We started with cross-border payments. Another core piece of infrastructure, obviously, is custody. We made an acquisition a little over a year ago, a company called Medico in Switzerland that is now that is Ripple Custody, that is serving some of the largest banks and providing that incredibly important piece of infrastructure. And then, per the comments before, I mean, this next wave of tokenization, and of course, tokenization in and of itself is great, and there's efficiencies, but once you tokenize something, you have to do something with it. You have to be able to store it, come in a compliant, safe way. You have to be able to transact. You have to be able to move value. So it's really putting together not a piece of the infrastructure, either doing sort of collaborating with others to bring those pieces together in a way that's seamless, and or providing those capabilities organically in-house. And we're, as a company, exploring all of those different approaches.
So yeah, we can obviously see the interest growing around a lot of these big players in the space like Ripple. Even Hedera has been witnessing a lot of institutional growth as well. Institutions are here. I mean, that's just facts. We know that the institutional players are flooding into this space very fast now, especially with the growing acceptance of crypto in the US and the pro-crypto landscape. But it's only going to continue to, grow. And we're starting to see a lot more institutions embracing the space, which is also accelerating the growth and the adoption. But on top of that, we also look at tokenization. And we also have another one over here, which is the amount of inbound requests we're getting to meet with large institutions around tokenization products is just astounding. Check it out.
Eric, what are your thoughts?
Well, I agree. I think using example of custody, with Ripple Custody, formerly known as Medico, it's working with large institutions and making sure that they can scale. We have tremendous coverage of some of the largest financial institutions in Europe, be it DBS, HSBC, BBVA, Switzerland, and they're trusting us to come in, not only provide custody, but allow them to tokenize and pull it together in one package. So scale is going to happen when some of this fragmentation that we talk about it kind of is removed. We almost want this. We almost want this to be kind of boring. It should be really clear. It's not like taking a front seat and you spend half the time you meet with a customer just explaining the technology and why they shouldn't be worried about it, but you're really focusing on the benefits, the real world utility that the solution brings. And without that, it's going to be, it's a slog. And I do feel it's getting better. Again, the amount of inbound requests we're getting to meet with large institutions around tokenization products is just astounding vis-a-vis a year ago. And I think being able to again bring those things together in a very kind of frictionless way is what's really going to allow the real scale to thrive.
I mean, so that's a big change in a year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think especially with this, as been referenced, this new administration, even the last several months. I mean, you just look, the crypto market cap is up $1 trillion in the last 6-8 weeks. It's astounding. Now, we'll see what the next 6-8 weeks, 6-8 months brings. But I do feel it's an inflection point, and I think it's poised for significant growth. Now, again, there's estimates of a $16 trillion market cap of tokenized assets by the end of the decade. So there's a long way to go, but I think we're going to see that curve start to steepen.
Now, on top of that, one last video clip is this one, which is ashes to ashes, dust to dust for all the projects without real world utility.
Quick add, because I think Eric used the word utility, and I just can't I wanted to double down on it, because I think that if you look at a lot of the activity right now on some of the public network that drove a lot of this really exciting growth are activities that if the market were to take a downturn will be the first to go away. And that's why I think it's extremely important, Coinbase working on payments, tokenization, real world utility. If the S&P 500 goes down even 20%, people will still have to do repo. People will still have to do payments. And I think that that is extremely important for us as an industry, is to create real world utility that is not necessarily as sensitive to market volatility. Quick add, because...
So just to summarize this, right? We're starting to see the institutional adoption growing significantly. Ripple is having a lot of great institutional discussions. They're now running to Ripple to talk about what they could do with custody, which will lead to, additional use cases around tokenization. And when we think about that, right, if we just go to their solutions tab over here and we look at, like, for an example, we'll just, say banks, right? When we look at these use cases that they're looking at, when it comes to banks and institutions, most of it is around payments. But we also know that if payments are starting to move on chain and through DLT, and if we're thinking about what's the next step is, stablecoins, for an example, because stablecoins are, just fiat currencies on chain tokenized. Tokenization is actually what we should be focused on, not payments, because we know payments will be on chain. We know payments will be on DLT, but what will the payments be moving through? Well, it's going to be through stablecoins. And if we're thinking about that, we also know that Ripple, if we go just to the front page of the Ripple website, ripple.com, and we go to tokenization, under tokenization, we know that the XRP ledger will be the main home for tokenization initiatives through Ripple, essentially. So if we're thinking about these institutions now coming to Ripple about, tokenization use cases or what they're going to be using, tokenization for, or how they're going to use it, or payments, right, through stablecoins, well, all of a sudden, now you start to see the big picture. The XRP ledger and XRP will be home for massive amounts of volume and value moving over it and users. But the problem is that a lot of people think that this is going to happen tomorrow. No, this has been happening and ongoing for a while. We're now just starting to see the big picture because they're now telling us what's happening. Before, it was a big secret. They weren't actually telling us what was going on. But now that we have a pro-crypto landscape, regulations are starting to, actually become a reality. Legislation's getting pushed around stablecoins. We're now starting to see the heavy hitters, talking about what they're going to do. Like, for an example, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, and they're actually doing it. They're in discussion now with some big players like Ripple, Ondo, Hedera, etc. So we love to see this. And to really kind of wrap this up, I want to go back to this post from Ripple, which did get posted on the 2nd, talking about $250 million in market cap for ROUSD. Guess what? It's now over 293 million. We're almost at $300 million for ROUSD, which is wild. ROUSD is growing extremely fast. I love to see that. Very beneficial for Ripple, very beneficial for even the XRP ledger and even Ethereum. We'd love to see it. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.